Captain Paul from TSP here. Registered white man of the podcast. I have my mayo right here, mixed in with the salt and pepper that I do not use. I felt like going into the Just Pearly Things apology and giving the white perspective. And oh god, that just sounds awful. Do not take me down YouTube. Let's get into this apology.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Morning Coffee Thoughts, where I give my thoughts over morning coffee. Today I have a chai tea. I quit coffee. You guys don't care about what I'm drinking. Okay.
I really do not care what you're drinking, but let's continue.
Today, I'm going to be addressing the Nick Fuentes situation.
Which you should.
Yeah, I know why you guys are here. Okay. So, I want to first say I take full accountability for everything that happened. Everything that happens in life, as I say to the girls on my show, is my own fault. The fact that people are making these videos is my own fault. And the situation that I'm in is my own fault. Now, I'm going to give you guys an explanation and give you guys context for some of the conversations that were had. Just know it's not an excuse. It's my own fault. I take full accountability for everything that happened. Okay.
All right, well, I mean, listen, that's a big thing. If someone can take accountability for their actions and try to be a better person tomorrow, that is vitally important for a successful society. Let's go.
So, but I'm going to answer questions that people have brought my way. So the first thing is, why did you have Nick on? So, the reasoning behind having Nick Fuentes on was because I heard that he was on the no-fly list and he lost his bank account. Now, from your point of view, you would think, why would you invite someone on that's on the no-fly list, right? That would be a bad... Well, he's not anymore. That's how he flew, but he was. So I was more just curious why this man was banned on everything. Now, I've seen a lot of videos that say I play dumb or I'm playing dumb. And I'll tell you what I knew and what I didn't know. So I did know that he was a known racist. I did know he was a known sexist. I did know that basically every bad name in the book from the right and the left, everyone hated him. So the reason I had him on was because, guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist.
Okay, all right. This is where the argument is starting to fall apart for me. Pearl, like, really? Well, people call me this and me that. Are we really going to make that comparison? Have you looked into anything Nick Fuentes has said or done? That's kind of coming off as some fucking bullshit.
And, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews.
I also want to state here, I'm completely fine with her having the dude on the show. That's not really the problem for me. It's the lack of pushback on some of the things that he was saying and the points he was trying to make. I don't believe in deplatforming, because when you start to censor people, that's when people become even more unhinged, in my opinion. I mean, just look at the Alex Jones of the world. I don't think that is the answer to that problem. But yeah, I'm not buying the whole, oh, well, he's like me. I'm like, well, you better hope he's not like you.
Trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
But you're the same person that brought up the slavery discussion. I'm going to make that, like, here with my mayonnaise and everything, make that very clear. You're the individual that brought up slavery. Nick Fuentes did not. When he was making a comparison, you try to slide in there. Oh, that's kind of like the same thing they say about slavery. Like that was all you on that. So I mean, when people are having a certain narrative about you being completely uninformed, or now some people are saying you're a bigot. I mean, that's kind of on you.
I did remove the interview.
Why?
Again, did not think through a lot of the repercussions of posting that, so I just removed it. If you do want to see the full interview, Obsidian did react to it. That's on his channel. The intention was not, I guess, to hide it. It was just, this might not have been the best move. I'm just...
No, that was... The intention was you were getting heat. You were looking terrible. There was terrible optics on your part. And you want to get rid of it. I don't even really blame you, but it does make you look far less firm on your stances. So when you get a little bit of heat, you just take down the video. This could have been... I mean, obviously you should be embarrassed. But it could have been a teaching moment. I don't know. I'm very on the fence whether taking down the video was the right thing. Because I could understand from a human element, you're getting a lot of heat. Like, oh, fuck it, I'll just remove it. And then there's the other aspect of it. Like, well, I mean, you're the person that had this person fly out. And had, said different stuff on your podcast, and you didn't really push back much. If anything, you encouraged the behavior. I mean, why take it down if you were completely fine saying it in the moment?
Just going to remove it now. So again, racism has no place in society, and I do take accountability for bringing him on. Hindsight's always 20/20. I wrote down some of the complaints that people had. So if I look this way, it's just because I made bullet points of everyone's concerns, and I'm just addressing them. Okay. My Africans, that part. So in the heat of the conversation, I made some remarks to my producer, Blessing. Now, Blessing is a godsend. Okay, Blessing has made the production quality literally phenomenal. He's so talented. And during this conversation, we were talking about immigration, and I said, I'm trying to get my Africans to America. Now, I watched it back, guys. It was so cringy. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. I meant my African employees. I just said Africans. The reason is because, like, why wouldn't you just say my employees or whatever to America? The African passport system is just more difficult than the UK one. I didn't know, like, Blessing had to go to the embassy.
Are we doing this right now? That's not the biggest issue. That's not the one to lead off with. We're not going to talk about the elephant in the room here. Okay, all right, we'll let her cook.
Something to apply to go to America with me next month. We're going to go do some work there. And and so I've just found that the immigration process is a bit more difficult. So that's why I referred to them, because my African employees, I needed more help with. And, I was saying in the interview that I wanted more open border policies because I wanted them to come. Again.
Okay.
I really respect the African culture. I had no ill will or malice towards any of that. But it sounded absolutely awful. It was so cringy watching back. So it was stupid. It was stupid.
Agree on that.
Okay. Now let's talk about my Africans was the other one. Then the joke about Blessing being late. So one thing that they cut out from that clip was that Nick Fuentes did say after, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now, even so, it was still in poor taste. And what I didn't think about at the time was, for those that didn't see it, basically Nick Fuentes was talking about he's always late. And I said, you were on time today. Oh, Blessing was the one that's late. And it's sort of an inside joke here at Just Pearly Things. Like, Blessing is he's phenomenal, but he's a late guy. And every time he comes in, he says African time. Now, Pearl me. So when I was referring to him during this joke, I was like,
absolutely
African.
Insanity. This is
now,
not even
I was
the
saying
biggest two
African
issues
time,
in that
referring
video.
to what he says when he comes in. Now, what I realized is this was especially disrespectful because we did have someone that's a known white supremacist race, like, making that joke in front of him, with him, is just in poor taste. And I did apologize to him for it. I really had no malice or ill will. But,
Right. I mean, okay.
Stupid. It was just
bad
stupid.
joke.
Okay.
Poor timing.
The next thing is I've gotten a lot of criticism for using the black culture and then I'm going right and leaving it, like that sort of thing. You can correct me in the comments if
Oh my God. You can't be this oblivious. You can't be. It's just really. I just, it's, if you're going to make an apology, either write off a statement that it's coherent or don't make it at all. Because they're just coming up with some shit inside of the pants because you probably got a little bit of heat. This is ridiculous. This is a fucking terrible apology.
I'm wrong, but that seems to be a big point of contention.
Maybe she gets to it eventually. I don't know. Maybe it's like 10 minutes
be,
in. Maybe it's the deep cut.
Quote unquote leader in the Black Manosphere or the Manosphere in general. I really have always just looked at the men as the leader. I mean, they're the thought leaders. Let's just be honest. And me,
This is why some people did gravitate.
I try to support them in any way I can.
It's fine for men to be leaders.
I bring
in
them on my
relationships
show,
or in life.
but saying I'm a leader in the space, I feel like women follow, men lead. So I really think,
which is fine.
Yeah, that's just.
But you can't use your following.
Now,
you can't use that as an excuse for what happened. What?
Demographic of the women on my show, guys. I haven't done recruiting in months. So when I started, I never expected it to blow up this fast. I never in my life thought I'd have 1 million subscribers in a year. I wrote my goals for the year before and it was 100,000. I thought I'd maybe get 100K by the end of the year. Okay, that's what I thought. Now, everything blew up so fast, and I haven't done recruiting since maybe July. The only time I have is maybe to help out if we're low on a show. So or if there's a really big panel like the Andrew Tate panel, I handpicked everyone that was on that. Right. But in general, guys, I really don't recruit. I think one reason that there have been so many Black people on the show is because the recruiter that I picked was Nigerian. And he just had the type of job that he could recruit while he went on the job. Right. And he knew a lot of people. He was already in the podcast space. So he was just a good recruiter. So it makes sense that he knows more Nigerian women. Yeah. Okay. But again, yeah. The next part. Oh my God. Now this was the part that was probably the dumbest part of the whole interview.
Hopefully hopefully we're getting to it.
The dumbest,
hopefully we're getting to it, folks.
Oh, this was stupid. So I said that slavery was embellished in the interview.
Okay. 8 minutes and 48 seconds. Maybe lead off with that in the apology. I don't know.
Now that not only is that comment insensitive, it's not accurate. There were things in slavery that were worse than what was shown on TV. What I was referring to, I don't even want to tell you guys what I was trying to say because it wasn't what came out and it doesn't even matter.
What? It was pretty clear what you were saying.
Again, if you watch the full thing, I was more referring to the system of using atrocities to control people. That's what I was trying to say. But to say that it wasn't, that it was embellished is, oh gosh, so stupid.
I mean, we'll both agree it's pretty fucking stupid when you have people in slavery. Now, this slavery is a very complicated issue because it's not just there's slavery going on currently today. Just within human nature, for whatever reason, we just like to conquer other people and enslave them. That's historically how things have been. And you still have a slave trade market to this day. The problem with a lot of what she said, it came off as ignorant, like she said, and she should be embarrassed. She was having a talk and kind of lessen the impact of slavery with a white supremacist on there trying to co-sign what this fucking dude stands for. And while I get some people are a little bit ignorant and maybe not as knowledgeable of certain subjects, I'll be very nice the way I put that. You can't be that dumb. You cannot be that disingenuous and telling me that you did not know. No, that's embarrassing. That was in a moment. In my opinion, some of your real opinions came out to the forefront. And quite frankly, looking at your apology video, you have a lot of racists now as fans. So, I mean, I don't know Nick Fuentes. I don't know him as a person. I just know the acts and the things that he support don't really they're not copacetic to my moral viewpoint on life, my moral values, I should say. I think he's a very ignorant and hateful person that just spreads a message of division instead of unity, and I want to have no part of that. But to say essentially, "Oh, I'm embarrassed," you're the one who initiated that conversation. I'm not gonna let that shit slide. Oh, that wasn't the point I was trying to make. Well, what fucking point were you trying to make? You literally said slavery. Actually, I'll play the fucking clip for you. Slavery wasn't as bad as people said. What? What? That makes no sense. People were treated like cattle. Women were, I can't say it on YouTube, but SA'd. Families were torn apart. Not as bad. Yeah, that's a pretty fucking dumb statement to make.
So stupid, insensitive. And nor am I, sure, I've read a couple books, but I'm not informed or qualified enough to really have that conversation. So not bringing someone else onto the show,
Jesus.
Again, stupid.
Yeah, stupid.
Now, the next thing is that my friend Gabby came on the show with him, and she's dating someone that is black. And he would say openly racist comments to her. Now, I should have pushed back on that. Like, I've been in interracial relationships. So for me to not push back on that, especially with all of the people that have been on my show, was stupid. It was stupid. I just, I was kind of like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know.
You're a coward. Let's just cut the bullshit. You're a coward. In a situation where you have someone openly disrespecting your staff and people that you are friends with, quote unquote, not pushing back on some of these racist comments saying like, hey, like, we don't do that here, at the very least. Come on. You're a coward. That's pure and simple. You're a coward that doesn't have the ability to stand up for what they believe in. So I don't want to hear embarrassed. Like, you're just, to me, Pearl, you're a pure coward. Now, I've never even been a fan of pearlythings. I'll be very clear here. And a lot of what she said in the past is now going to be tainted because of this poor moment. Now, could she come back from this? Absolutely. I mean, most people on the internet have a very short attention span, and they have a very, very, very short memory. That's why you have the Paul brothers still be wildly successful, even though they scam hundreds of thousands of dollars from their fans, allegedly. I don't know. This is just
like, oh gosh,
terrible.
And the video we were watching wasn't even supposed to be about that, so I really don't have an excuse. It was just stupid. And again, I take full accountability for this stuff. And, if I had to do it over again, I would do it differently, but I can only move forward. So,
she's lost for a moment.
I want to make sure that I addressed everything. I think I did.
No, you think you did?
I did. Okay.
Okay.
Because I talked about recruiting. I talked about...
This is such a bad apology.
So,
edit the motherfucker.
Moving forward, I really would be open to having a discussion with someone that can bring more awareness and education to the situation. So I'm open to you guys' suggestions in the comments. I also invite anybody that's made a video about me or has comments to address with me to go on Obsidian's stream tonight. It's 8 p.m. GMT. Blessing will also be there. And yeah, because I don't want to run from this stuff.
You did run from it. You took it down.
A lot of this stuff was not well thought out. A lot of this stuff I could have done better, and I can take full accountability for that. So,
okay.
Go on the stream if you got something to say. I also would like to say I really don't have beef with anyone in the space that made videos about me. I understand where they were coming from. I understand where I went wrong. And I really think they had a lot of valid criticisms about me. So let me know what you guys think. I really did my best to address all of the comments in a concise way. I'm not trying to play the victim. Everything in this that has happened is my fault. And I'm just, my fault. And I will do better in the future. So let me know in the comments what you guys think.
All right, enough. I'm good with that shit. Yeah, so what do I think? I think this is someone that got caught with their pants down. I think this is someone that, said something extremely ignorant and I would say downright intolerant. I think when it kind of comes down to it, her allowing a white supremacist on the platform, I'm not even inherently against. I think deplatforming actually causes more people to go into these extreme fringes and get lost into a wormhole. You got to have this stuff exposed out into the sunlight and get killed. That way you can have someone openly and honestly debate them and take down their talking points. Now, there's always going to be ignorance. There's always going to be racism, just because as human beings, we are prone to having these type of thoughts and emotions. But to sit there on a show that, let's be honest, the black community has fully embraced you, especially the Black Manosphere, not say anything about Nick Fuentes going on some crazy stuff. You bringing up the slavery, not Nick Fuentes, but you bring up slavery saying it wasn't as bad as it seemed. I mean, I don't, the apology just rings hollow. And at the very least, edit the motherfucker so it's at least makes some sense. If you're going to talk about that podcast being ripped down from the internet, start out with the two major issues and then from that tackle some of the minor ones. And God, this is going to make me sound terrible saying this, and this is just maybe my wrong perception, but her waiting until around the 8-minute marker to talk about her slavery comments just seems like she wants watch time. That's what it seems like to me. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are down below. I hope you enjoyed this White Man Reacts. I don't know how many more of these I'll do, so my mayo will always be on standby, ready to go. I'm Cat DePaul for TSB. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Dude, people are fucking stupid.